How you doing? I'm Chris with Premier Guitar, and we are talking with Steve Vai about his new Carvin Legacy amp. Thanks for talking to us. Can you tell us maybe a little bit more about this neurotic process, as you say, designing this amp?
Well, you know, through the years I've played various amplifiers. And, you know, I've never been a big fan of the popular metal amps because they just don't suit. You know, first of all, I'm basically primarily an instrumental guitar player. So people who come to the show have to listen all night to a guitar screaming. So if it's an abrasive sound, can you imagine what you're going to feel like after the show?
Sure.
Enough of that Vai shit. They might feel that way anyway. So I needed a tone that just felt warm and comfortable, but still had, you know, hair to it, and something that will carry a melody on a little silver platter. And the process, you know, I'm the kind of guy, I have good retention for some things, but some things it's just, I don't know, it's just like a brick wall, you know. I like have 3 phone numbers memorized. But when I go through a process, I get very into it and I educate myself completely. So when it came time to really get into the nuts and bolts of the amp and an amplifier in general, I read books. I understood, you know, how, you know, what capacitors, and when it came time to, you know, change certain things, I had a certain contribution to the vocabulary and actual technical terms. But once I found, you know, we found the tone that was right, I forgot all of that crap, and I don't ever want to remember it. But the bottom line was we got the amp to sound the way I like it. And, you know, I'm fortunate that other people like it too.
Very cool. So how does it play compared to the previous version?
Well, the bottom end is a lot. It's got a lot more. It's like a bit of a warmer bed or something, and the highs have more sustain, you know. And one of the main differences is the addition of the second channel, because I was starting to feel limited because the clean channel on the Legacy One was so clean, and it was, you know, it was great, and you need that. But then I was going right to a channel that was, you know, relative dirty channel, and no matter what you do, when you take a dirty channel and you clean it up, it's never entirely like a clean channel. So I thought, well, what can we do to bridge this gap, you know? So I worked with Carvin and I worked with you know, Ben Fargan, and he came up with the idea of taking the clean channel and actually, you know, putting it through a stage that would then give it some lift. So you can actually have you could have the clean channel, and then you have this in-between kind of a stage that's not quite dirty, but it's just a lot more, it's heavier. It's like the hair is thicker.
That sounds awesome. So maybe this is going to open up some new things in your playing and provide some territory.
As a matter of fact, yeah, it already had when I got the amp. I put it on that channel and I plugged in my guitar, and it was just like an in-between that I had been missing, and I sat for quite some time and played, and it was nice.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for talking to us. I'm Chris Burgess. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.